I had a couple of dreams that I feel like the Father wants me to share, so that's what I'm going to do. Um, the first dream I'm going to put on this video happened on June 23rd. I had a dream where I saw these kids all in a school, but when I say kids, I mean some of them were teenagers, some of them were young adults, some of them were, yeah, I think that was the age range, somewhere between teenager and young adult. They were in a school or I don't know, some type of school. Maybe it was like a boarding school or like a, a program where people stayed there. I don't know what it was, but I remember there were, I was meeting a lot of kids and they all looked kind of happy and all looked very similar to each other in a lot of ways. Um, I got the sense that they were learning a lot of good things. The strange part um, was that it seemed like their beliefs were based off of a song. I don't even know the song, but their belief system was based off of a song. They were all very happy and joyful and um, seemed interesting. The other thing was they were all getting the same, they were all getting revelations, as in downloads from heaven, and they were writing their visions down, and there were lots of visions that were going on, and I couldn't understand how they were getting so many of these visions. I remember someone had told me to go to this certain area, or somehow I was looking for a certain area. No one was taking me. I just was like trying to find it, and it seemed like the easiest way to get this to the spot was through this office where there were like um offices. I guess that's the right way of putting them, but it was this different area. While I was walking around, I remember having in my dream this vision where um, I saw this picture of a guy um, on a podium, standing on a podium, and an old man, and he was like talking about something. I couldn't hear what he was talking about, but on a wall next to him, to his left, there was a stone wall, but and on the stone wall was projected this kind of like monk looking fellow, with a halos and like an old um uh mural or something on the wall, with a monk with a bald head, like the bald cap and the hair around, and having his face in a kind of like upright uh gaze, and it was kind of shiny, is what I remember. um and then it just went away, so I kept searching for where I was going. So uh in the middle of searching for where I was going, I came across this room where there, like in the middle, like the most direct route appeared to be straight through this area. And as I went walking through this area, there were these two people in a room, kind of writing down visions, writing everything down. Um, and they were like, oh, this is not the way to get to where you're going, even though there looked to be, it appeared like there was a door where I was facing to my left behind them that was shut off and or closed off. And I couldn't understand why it was closed off. But I do remember they were like, but if you go around, if you go out to your left, you'll see a place to get to there. So I went out to the left, and um, again, I don't know where I was going. I don't know that it's important, but I do know when I was in this room, suddenly I got this intense download where the picture was no longer this small picture. It was a full on, and the people in the room weren't young. They were like teachers or deans or something like that. And scribes. There were two of them. I don't know what they were, but I don't know if I saw this multiple times or what, but I remember in this dream, all of a sudden I had this picture hit me with very strong intensity. And it was so intense and it was going so fast. So it was the same picture that I saw before with the man at the podium with the monk, only on the wall, it was like it was still stone. It was set in stone, but it was going like a screen, like a slide, but it was set in stone. I saw the words, and I think there were pictures attached to each one. I only remember one picture, but I remember at the bottom of each page there was a word, and I heard these children's voices saying in unison what was crossing across the set in stone thing: love, judgment, life, demons. And then this picture, I couldn't hear the words that they said with it, but it was a kind of like um, uh, the African masks with the faces on them, only this one had a tongue sticking out like that, and it was kind of a dragon looking, and ass. And I was like, whoa, it's going too fast, and thinking through it, and it scrolled through again so I could hear the children sing it more intensely, but it went really fast. Love, judgment, life, demons, and then the picture, and then ass. But just to clarify, when I say ass, I mean like a donkey, like, or not like a donkey, sorry. Immediately, I thought of fool, foolishness, and then the whole idea of Balaam and his donkey did come into mind. And I saw these dates. Oh, I saw, I don't remember what order this was in, but I did see the dates April 23rd and June 30th. And I remember in my dreams, those dates were like upon us. Like April 24th. I'm sorry, April 24th and June 30th were the two dates. And they were clear in my mind, like someone was writing it out, and they were like, look at these dates. And they were being written out on a scroll. And I remember it was just so insistent. Then I saw this picture of these children that seemed demon possessed and emaciated. And I woke up from that dream and I had this strong, intense urge that I needed to remember those dates. I am terrible with dates. So I knew I had to write those down, and I needed to write down the words that had scrolled up so that I would remember. So again, the dates were April 24th and June 30th. The words were love, judgment, and I mean righteous judgment, life, demons. African witchcraft was kind of the closest thing I could connect to it because of the picture. And that was the word that was attached in my head. And then ass again, foolishness, Balaam's donkey, all of that. Again, the children were emaciated, they were dying. So that is my dream.